Well, I'll just do that. Just give me 2 seconds.
Wait, is Lewis racing today?
No, Louis is not racing today. Well, I've told now everyone they can go. I'm just going to go and check the F1 standings dead quick. I'm just going to read the top 6 right now for the driver standings. With Matthew Alder still in the lead after he had a disappointing race last week with the lap 1 incident between Diego and Rafa, which was classed as a racing incident at the end of the day. But Matthew leads with 190 points. Louis took his 4th win in a row, 154 points, now in 2nd place. Mark Espy, who's no longer a driver, now in 3rd with 112 points. Jay in 4th with 93 points. Brandon Glover in P5 with 91 points. And Sondre Sorhaug doing quite well in 6th with 63 points. If Kevin, you want to go down the constructors dead quick?
I'm doing the tweets,
oh,
could you?
Balls. Hang on a minute. No, Tom's in. Sorry, excuse my language. Tom is in. Cameron. Sorry about that. Right, we're in now. So if you want to go down the constructors dead quick, mate, if you've got that.
Could you do that? Because I'm doing the tweets.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so the constructors, Renault with 253 points to their name in 1st place. Alfa Romeo Racing in 2nd with 229 points, who've caught quite a lot on the Renault since they used to be near the back end of the constructors. Haas in 3rd with 160 points, and I don't think they'll be scoring any points today since neither of their drivers are available. Right now, I'm just getting everything correct. In 4th place, is Mercedes with 116 points. 5th place is Red Bull, who used to be looking for the title for the constructors, who's now in 5th. Racing Point in 6th with 62 points. McLaren in 7th with 52 points, 10 points off the Racing Point. So McLaren have done well to come back. Toro Rosso Honda in 8th with 45 points. Ferrari in 9th with 42 points. And Williams are still last in 10th, however they've scored a lot more points recently now. They're at 29 points. So that is the standings updated for you guys. As now I'm going to go through my qualifying prediction. My top 4, I believe, is going to be Matthew Alder in 1st, Lickle in 2nd, Lewis Curtis in 3rd, and I'm going to go with Brandon in 4th, as it looks like he... Oh no, actually he isn't going to be the first one out on track, so who's going to be out first? Kevin, if you want to go down your qualifying prediction, dead quick.
I'm going to put Matthew on pole, because this just seems like the most obvious choice with Louis out this week as well. I would put... I'm gonna go with Bran for 2nd, just like he comes out of nowhere and gets right on the pace. I'm gonna put a J in 3rd, and I'll put Caden in 4th.
Okay, and that's your qualifying prediction from Kevin Harrison. As some interesting information, Harry Cooper, Flying Cooper as he's called on PSN, is doing it as a reserve today, as I believe Sterling's out actually ahead of Lee Kelly, so I think he will be the first one to do a lap. For some reason, there we go. But yeah, Sondre, who's unfortunately not going to make it today, is on his qualifying prediction. 1st is Jay, Matthew in 2nd, and 3rd is Lickle. So that's his qualifying prediction for you and Seld. However, though, we're on board with Sterling in the Williams. Will he be looking for another point result? He got a 3rd in round 11. I can't remember what track that was. But in Japan, I think he got some points. And now he's probably going to score more points to his name in the Williams today. As Cooper also goes, apparently him 1st, Jay 2nd, and Matthew 1st. Well, no offence, Cooper, but I don't think you're that quick. Not yet. As now we'll go on board with Sterling as he's entering into turn 1 now. Nice and tidy entry into turn 1, 2 and 3 on those hard tyres, the white walls tyres, as he's going now into turn 4 now. Nice and tidy entry and exit. Oh, a bit of a kicker out of the Williams rear end there. Just coming to the end of sector 1 as he's just done a 27 flat. And oh, he makes another error there on the rear axle of the Williams. That rear end of the Williams doesn't look stable at all. Now he's coming up to a very crucial section where you could lose a lot of time. Nice tidy entry. Rides the curb. Oh, rear end kicks out yet again. So the rear end isn't that safe on that Williams car. Into the hairpin corner he goes, into the straight. Great exit. As now he's coming into the right hander. Into the little chicane. Now approaching turn 18 and 19 now. And there's another chicane with a little bit of tunnel. Nice entry there from Sterling as he's now approaching turn 20. Oh, he scrapes the wall there, turn 20 and 21.
Yeah, very, very close to the walls here.
Really pushing to the track limits as much as he can now into turn 22 and 23. Will this be provisional pole? Will he manage to hold pole from anybody else today? A 137.7. Just 1 thousandth off a 137.8 as Dylan has actually retired from the session. Now I don't know if that's an actual crash or he's just made an error, as Lee Kelly actually was behind Sterling at one point, but he was actually down on his lap. Gotta say though, Kevin, do you think Lee's going to perform better this week after last week's shenanigans with him losing control of the car quite a lot?
I mean, the only way compared to last week, the only way really is to go and do better. So I would expect him to do better, but I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be up there like at the top fighting. But
as Caden just sets a new fastest lap, 137.5, was held by Diego who stole it from Sterling, but what about Edward? Edward is on a lap right now, approaching turn 22 and 23. What time is it going to be in the Ferrari? It's going to be a 1:38.5, what's up to P5 right now. So I think that may have been a banker from Edward right now, as Brandon's done a 38.7. That is a definite banker, I think, from him, because I've seen him done a 37, I think.
Yeah, Matthew Alder's starting this lap now.
Well, if you want to commentate over that while I get on board with him.
Yeah, coming into turn 4, I think this is. It's very easy to go a little bit too wide there and
yeah, it's tough.
The track. But he seems to take that very well now, down the straight, flat out, and now braking for a pretty heavy braking zone into this left-hander, and now it's quite a tight and tricky section. You got to be very close to the wall there. You got to go as far out as you can. And once again, with this, in general, it's this kind of thing with this track. You want to get as close to the wall as possible to maximize your lap time. And it seems like a very stable car he's got today as well. Isn't losing the rear end at all, although he has a very small snap out of that corner.
I do agree with that though, but I don't think it's actually going to be an actual lap for him, because I've just realised he's on the softs.
Oh yeah, it's not actually a recommended tyre, is it?
So I think he may back off, but you never know. Matthew could do actual lap time here, as he's now into turn 18 and 19. So he's in sector 2.
Yeah, we've got a Ferrari up ahead of him as well.
And that is Tom's. Edward.
That's a certain.
Yeah, he's backed off. Well then, we'll go on board with Jay, who's made it back after a few weeks off in the Red Bull, as he actually isn't on a lap right now because he's in 0 ERS. We'll go on board with then. We'll go on board with the reserve if you want to go and commentate over his lap when he comes off his. Oh, he's actually just in sector 1.
Okay.
If you want to pick someone who you want me to go over, Bran. Okay, we'll go on to Bran then, as he's apparently 5/10 up. So if you want to commentate over his finishing part of his lap.
Yeah. So this little chicane, it's very close to the wall. Of course, this kind of thing that everyone's going to be trying to do, get as close to the wall as possible through turns 18 and 19, and then through another little chicane here. Now we get very close to the wall, and now we've done most of the work, and now you come up to the line and we'll see what time he sets, and that is P4 with 37.7.
So a few hundredths fast in Sterling, and may be happy with that. P4, as I did say, he could set a 37.7 with the lap he did set earlier, was a 38, I think 38.6 or 38 something anyway, and it was a banker in my opinion. As Lomans actually made it today, as he's come back after the week off he had as Caden's already switching, so is Khan, already switched to the medium tyre, so are they going to go out early on the mediums? Are they expecting rain in the qualifying session near the end? As we did see last week with Bran at Japan, the wets were the better choice for him. He did have a battle with Caden with a bit of a connection issue.
Yeah, it's a possibility that everyone's just going for hards. Like, if everyone sticks with the hards, I mean, obviously it's early in quali, but there could be rain coming in the later stage of the race, and if they all start on hards, they might be thinking, well, what if I can go straight to the wet period and then put on a set of inters and then go for a one stop like that. Haven't really seen the end of quali yet, obviously, so they could all just switch to mediums and do a kind of normal strategy, but never know.
Do I agree with that? And as we're talking about the weather, Sondre says, "Come on, Matthew, get this win, mate." So he's cheering on his teammate as we're on board with Jay right now, who's actually on a lap on the set of hard tyres. So he's into turn 18 and 19, into turn 20 and 21 he's now approaching. Oh, cuts the corner, that's game over for that lap, and he hits the wall with succession. There's a bit of wing damage there, I've noticed as well. So that if hopefully no one can get a puncher by running over the Derby, but how, that wasn't invalid. A 136.6, wow, where has he found that? A 136.6, that was something what I'd sell mediums, I believe. That is a very good lap on from Jay.
The stick up with these tires, like, that's a really, really good lap.
It's unfortunate today, Cameron, you couldn't make it today. You know, you could be Mark Webber though. He was ill, he made the races, but it's unfortunate. As Jay's currently in the lead, 136.6. That lap, Kevin, do you think that's going to get beaten by Matthew on the same type of tyres we'll go on board with right now?
I would say so, but it's going to be difficult because that lap obviously was very, very quick. So.
As Matthew just enters turn 5, literally pushing already in the Renault. He's going to be trying to get his racing back on track. He needs this win today to build up a gap again to Louis, who's not here today.
He had a little bit of an opposite lock coming out of that corner there, if you saw.
So Matthew's already fighting the Renault, trying to push it as much as he can. As he's now approaching turn 10 into turn 11. Now he goes into turn 12. Got to get it nice and tight. It almost hits the wall there. Into turn 13 at Anderson's Bridge. As he's going up down the main straight of Esplanada Drive. Coming into... Oh, there's a crash ahead, and there's a Ferrari off. I think that is actually Lickle, and it is. Edward is in 9th corner right now on the hard tyres, but he made an error there. As he's now coming into the chicane section from Matthew Alder. Coming into the tunnel where it's turn 18 and 19. Got to get it right, getting a lot of time as Tom yet again has lagged out the session. Hopefully he can make it back. He should have a spare invite. Oh, and he makes an error. That is game over for him, Matthew Alder. Oh, he's still pushing, so if this is valid.
Though, and they've still completed the lap.
Wow, a 136.6. Now, I don't know if this may be investigated by the stewards about the two drivers.
1700s, or 17,000s between them, rather.
Yeah, you're right there, however, I don't know if this will be investigated.
Well, Jake did the same thing and he didn't get involved in it either, so it might be still important.
Could be. This may be an issue in the race if no one's getting penalties at a corner if they cut it. So, we'll keep an eye on that, as Curtis is the only one on hards right now who's actually on a lap, I believe. As he's also in the Williams, hoping to bring them some more good luck. As here comes Lewis Curtis now, he's approaching, I believe. Oh, and he makes an error. Oh, good save there from Lewis Curtis, and that lap is game over. Almost hits the wall on those hards. So neither Williams right now are finding grips with the hard tyres.
Seems like it. I mean, obviously, could just be honest mistakes, and at the end it could end up there. But for now, they are seeming to be struggling. Another little opposite lock there out of that corner.
Still in next, peels into the pit, so he was just seeing how the mediums are going to go. And this is actually crucial for the Williams, because if they can make the tyres work on the hards, they're going to be doing a two-stop strategy where it'll be soft, medium, medium. Or you could try the soft / hard, which the famous Ballhog would have loved to done today. Unfortunately, he can't make it for today's race. As after next week, we will have a week's break, I believe, or a few weeks break. Since it's our break season. However, on the 28th of December, I believe, or the 29th, we'll be doing a Christmas Classics race where there'll be 3 tiers, C1, C2 and C3, and 3 races. Is anyone on a lap? No. Brandon and Jay.
No.
Who's ahead of who, Kevin?
It looks like Brandon's. Yeah, Brandon's much more ahead.
Alright then, so we'll go on board with Brandon. Tom has made it back to the session. Hopefully he can get into his car. As here comes Brandon now. If you want to commentate over his lap.
Yeah, coming into turn 1. Gotta take as much curb in turn 2 there as you can without cutting. He actually seems to.
He's made an error there, actually. I think he's cut the corner.
Yeah.
Well then, if you want to go on board with Jay then, and could you go over his lap when he starts it?
Yeah.
No, it's every drive I've told you to go over, they're either invalidated or they're not on a genuine lap.
Well, Jay is coming out of the final corner now to start a legitimate lap for now, so let's hope it stays legitimate. He already has a really good time on hards, but obviously he's going for the mediums now. So, actually, as is pretty much everyone on the grid, so obviously the hard laps were just bankers. Anyway, that was... Yeah,
and it's invalid as well.
And once again, he's messed up. That wasn't even a corner cut, he just went a bit wide and almost hit the wall. Had to back out of it, really. Otherwise, would have lost his wing.
So I was laughing at what Sondre just said in the chat. Right then, so Jay and Brand, both times I've actually commentated over their lap, they're both invalidated or made an error. As right now, as is yet speaking about errors, Edward is out. Edward has crashed in quali. I don't know if he's crashed in the pit lane or he's retired in the pit lane, or I don't know what is his strategy. Right now though, he is in 10th. Will Lohrmann's beat him? Lohrmann set a lap of 141.8. Now I've set that on hard tyres and 100% fuel, like the max fuel you can put in the car. So I wonder if Lohrmann's is actually doing that to see how the hards would go, and maybe try a medium strategy near the end. As Bran may now be on an official lap now, as he's just behind Matthew Alder, if you do want to commentate over that lap.
Who is it?
Brandon.
Brandon, okay. Well, he is right behind Matthew, and Matthew gets out of the way pretty well. Getting very close to the wall, trying to get as much lap time out of it as possible. Once again, getting very close to the wall. And now coming into quite a tricky section that you really have to get right. And it looks like he's got that pretty much spot on. There's no difficulties with over steer or under steer or anything. Now coming down to turn 15, I think, or 14 or something like that. And once again, he's taking it pretty well. Overall, it looks like a pretty stable lap, pretty good lap. And now just coming through the final few corners. Gotta maximize your exit there, and he does that pretty well as well. And then once again, you get very close to the wall, and now it's more or less flat out, a little lift off, and you come up to the line, and he's gonna set a 36.2, which puts him on provisional pole.
That is provisional pole, but it's only a few tenths faster than Matthew on the opposite tyre. Now, I believe the delta between the mediums and the hard is possibly 8 tenths to a second, so I do expect Matthew to probably go in the 35s, high 35s, low 36s. As right now though, Brand should be happy with that lap, currently P1. Oh, as he has to get out of the way from Matthew, because Matthew is on a lap now, as Diego's just beat that. 35.2, a very good lap there from Diego. So maybe I was wrong with actually Matthew's lap time he may set. Diego has done the fastest time right now, 1 whole second quicker than Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Brandon didn't get his lap together, although it looks pretty good. Obviously wasn't.
Am I dreaming of something? Oh, he's on softs, that's why. Curtis has done 34.6. I was wondering if he did that mediums. He's done 34.6, and the quali has actually ended. I didn't even notice we're on the final runs of quali. He did on 34.6, so good lap there from Lewis. Currently, it is going to be Paul. I don't think Matthew's actually going to beat that on the mediums. It would be surprising if he does. But here comes Matthew Alder now. He's almost out of fuel. He's 1 whole second up on his delta, so he's going to do a 35.6 currently. He needs to find 4 to 5 tenths to get ahead of Diego. As here comes Matthew now into turn 18 and 19 now, approaching
Thomas goes P3
crucial
there.
sector of the thing as Tom does. Yep, you're right there, 135.3. So where's this going to put Matthew? Turn 20 and 21 into turn 22 into turn 23 now. Is what Matthew going to do? A 134.9 P2 there, 1.7 seconds improvement. Great lap there from Matthew Alder, almost 2 seconds it could have been.
Yeah, and Caden's also on a lap. He's finishing off his lap. You can't count him out either.
Caden, oh yeah. Caden is on the set of mediums, are currently almost 8 tenths up on his time. So very good lap there from Matthew. Almost beat Lewis Curtis, only a few tenths off, but still on a different compound of tyre. It's going to be interesting in how the race goes. Here comes Caden. It's going to be a 136.1, and that is the end of qualifying. I believe he's P6.
Yep.
Yes,
correct.
he is. He is P6, so there is Caden in the McLaren. He will be happy with that. Thank you again for giving me XP. Right. So then your top 10 is Lewis Curtis in the Williams, a 134.6. However, Matthew Alder on a different compound of tyre, a 134.9, almost 3 tenths off him. Diego in third in the Alpha. Tom in fourth with Ferrari. Good qualifying there from Tom. Sterling in fifth. Another good qualifying from the Williams driver. Sixth is Caden just behind him. And seventh is Brandon Glover. 8th is Lee Kelly. 9th is Jay. So Jay didn't have the best qualifying. He's starting on the hard tyres though. 10th is Can, as that is the top 10 with a 137.9, also on the hard tyres. Now Lohman's Lickle in 11th, Lohman's in 12th, and I believe Cooper and Dylan Day didn't set their lap times. Dylan Day did crash out, and I don't think Cooper got a valid lap. As everyone is back in the session, as the race prediction is, and it looks dry. So then, Kevin, who's your top 4 for the race prediction going to be?
I said Matthew for pole. He's sort of got pole, like he wasn't able to get pole because like pole was on softs, but if pole was on mediums, then I think it would have been him to take that pole, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I'd say that he's going to take the win. I kind of have to see the rest of the grid for second, third and fourth, but I would kind of automatically put Matthew to win this race. I mean, obviously Lewis is also out, so that takes a bit of the pressure off if there was any.
I agree with that, and there is the point. Well, the formation lap is going underway, so now you can do the rest of the podium prediction.
I'm gonna say that Jay pulls off a great strategy. I mean, obviously he's starting on the hards, so I'm gonna put him in second. I'm gonna put Diego in third, and then we'll stick Caden in first.
Stick Caden where, did you say, Kevin?
Fourth.
Alright, sorry, because you might just literally cut out. Alright then.
Oh.
Well, my top 4 race prediction is going to be Matthew Alder pole winning, dominant fourth, I think, today. Diego in second, and I'm going to go with Sterling third and Thomas fourth for my race prediction, as we've got a few other race predictions in the chat. Sondre has set podium prediction for him. It's going to be Matthew first teammate, a bit biased there for his teammate. However though, Diego in second and Jay third. Cameron's also going with a similar driver lineup with Matthew first, but Jay second and Thomas third. There's your driver lineups in the chat. If you also want to make driver lineups on the chat, let us know.
Looks like Matthew, Diego and Jay seem to be up there quite a bit in predictions.
Yep, as Curtis is trying to pull a gap so he doesn't overheat his soft tyres, and it's going to be a weird strategy what Lewis Curtis is going to do. He could either do a two-stop strategy, soft, medium, medium, or you could try the bold one-stop strategy, soft to hard. Now that strategy isn't the quickest, but I've seen some people have done it before and actually made it work. So I'll have to wait and see. As right now Matthew is getting a bit close now to the Williams driver. As the Williams driver's fortune changed. Oh, as Matthew almost makes a mistake. Can be, yes. A bit of information, radio chatter. Next is Chaos as Dylan, and Can has had a bit of collision on the formation lap, so they're not happy with each other. As Cooper's actually quite far behind on the formation lap, but he's not holding anybody up, so it isn't against the rules. So he can go this far back. As here comes Lewis Curtis now.
Keep 10 car lengths, but still the rule.
Oh yeah, true, but it's not affecting anyone behind, so no one will really report it. Because with the game on this, when you come up to when it does the AI, your tyres are locked at that. So no point for Lewis Curtis or anybody else near the top to report it for that, since he's on reserve.
It didn't look too far behind either, really. So.
Yeah. As we're about to get up to the lights sequence to start for the race, as Cooper finally gets into his spot. As if you can watch the back for me, Kevin, would be great. As we are now 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4 lights, now 5 lights, and lights are off, and off the way we go as Lewis Curtis has an alright start. Matthew gets an alright start as well, a bit of wheel spin, but look at Tom. Tom's had a great start in the Ferrari, already trying to start, and there's contact back. Sterling is round. Sterling is done a full 360 there, as he's dropped all the way to the back grid, no wing damage or any damage to his car, so he's very lucky with that. As now back to the front, Curtis leads, Matthew in second and Tom in third. Matthew is already on the back of Lewis Curtis. Will he get him into slipstream? Tom third. Diego's lost place to fourth. Brandon P5 now, battling with Caden yet again. Reminds me of the Japan race they had. Oh, as Brandon closes the door on Caden there.
Yeah, at the start it didn't really look like anything happened apart from Sterling going around. So apart from Sterling's collision, which will most likely go to the stewards, looks pretty clean.
Sorry to cut you off there, mate, but Can has just squeezed Edward into the one. I believe he got wing damage from that. I don't know whose fault that was. Oh, a bit of more contact from Edward now and Lomans. So both Racing Point drivers getting in big contact in the Ferrari, but there's yellows ahead. Has anyone had a crash or something? No one's had a crash, but there was yellows somewhere. As right now, Sterling trying to make up some ground, trying to pacify in Cooper as the reserve. Cooper's trying to make another position on Sterling, but doesn't get through. Dylan Day in 12th, so both reserves right now in 12th and 14th. As apparently there's yellow flags all over the track for some reason. That's weird. There's just like flashing green all over. As right now, Matthew Alder is still in second place, only 6/10 off Lewis Curtis, but when will those soft tyres start to fail? Because eventually they will not last as well as medium.
Already started going because Matthew just gained like 2-3 tenths off the front corner.
You are correct there. Now 4 tenths now the gap for the lead. This is what Matthew wants. He doesn't want any risk factors today to stop his championship in case, really, because right now Lou's been dominant the past 4 races, and unfortunately his streak will end, but the new streak of Matthew Alder will start.
Lewis seems to be losing the back end quite a bit, and this might give Matthew an opportunity.
We're on board on a TV pod. As he's not really pushing the Renault. He's on 0 ERS.
Did he get damage, Lewis?
I didn't see any wing damage from Curtis, however he could have a bit of minor damage. But look at Matthew, he is getting closer and closer. He wants this position. Now there's a big fight further down for P7, it looks like, for Caden. As we've run about 5 cars just within a few tenths of each other. That's right now, though. Back to Matthew Alder. Will he start now attacking Caden? As again, for some reason, it's flashing green with the flags. As now he runs wide. However, I'm going to have to get off this battle. There's a bigger battle further down in track. Both McLarens are having a right scrap right now. As Caden's actually lagging a little bit, and it looks like he's got a bit of wing damage. Caden drops to P8 now, so has Caden got wing damage, and is this going to affect his race?
Yeah, he has. He's
lost an end plate. Yeah, his end plate has actually fallen off, and this is why the Racing Point drivers and everybody else further behind is closing him.
Matthew's about to make an overtake, by the way. Just get on that.
As we got on board with him right now. As Matthew fighting one. Oh, Tom just sets a new fast start, 140.3, but enough for the fast start. Matthew Alder wants to get ahead of Lewis Curtis. Matthew in the lead. This is good for his championship as Lewis Curtis gets a 3-second time penalty added to his time, but Curtis isn't finished. Curtis wants to try and have a look on the outside, but not enough traction. So those soft tyres are starting to fail, as Kevin was predicting. As right now, Tom is catching up with Lewis Curtis as well. Has got DRS. Ferrari versus Williams, like it used to be in the 2000 era. And now the Ferrari has got ahead of the Williams. Good driving there from Tom.
Like Lewis just backed out there. He obviously saw no point in fighting him because obviously he's just going to keep dropping him off. So maybe he just thought it was better.
That's right now, though. There is now Diego further behind. However, I've got to stay on board with this battle for P8 right now, as currently the gap between Khan and Lawman's literally only a few tenths. These racing point drivers on different choice of tyre are showing us how close teammates can be in the race. As look, Lickles got these two, however, have got ahead of Kit. Oh, bit of banging on the rear end for the racing point driver. Lawman's knows he's faster on the faster compound of tyre. Can, in my opinion, should just let him go, since they are teammates. They're not in the championship fight at the moment. As right now, the racing point, as Lee Kelly gets a 3-second time penalty added to his time. He's currently in P7, 1.4 seconds off Jay in 6th. As Jay's had a good start, actually, I've just noticed. He's in 6th, and I believe he started in 10th.
Yeah, Bran has started 7th, is now in 5th as well, so he had a good start as well.
As Matthew Alder's already building these gap to Tom, 1.3 seconds, and Tom Diego's just got ahead of Curtis. I didn't catch that on stream, but I've got it on the thing, as Lewis is actually pitted after 2 laps on those soft tyres. So Lewis has finally realised those tyres are not the best choice. As now Can versus, actually there's a bigger battle further behind, 3 cars, Williams, Ferrari and McLaren. This reminds me of 2004 in my opinion as well, where it was Renault, Williams and McLaren. As right now though, both these 3 have got wing damage. I don't know if, what about Sterling? Has Sterling got wing damage? No, Sterling hasn't, and Sterling's a lot faster. Oh, and there's a more end plate off the Ferrari gone. Both end plates on that Ferrari.
On the exit, I think he did get some wing damage there.
As Edwards defending very well, trying to hold.
He actually's got, Lickle's got quite a bit of wing damage.
As, oh, this ain't going to be close. These two are going to go almost into the wall there. Edward can't help that since he's got major wing damage, and there's more. It looks like just fell off his car. He's got a 3-second time penalty. I don't really understand why that's apparently taking over time, where you're almost hitting the wall, but okay. As right now, Sterling's got to move ahead.
That's the thing, Lickle's lost both of his end plates on each side. So.
Yeah, it looked like he lost the first end plate at the start of the race, I believe, with Caden, I believe. I could be wrong there. As right now, Dylan Day versus Harry Cooper. One from F2 reserve, one who used to be an F1 driver, dropped to reserve. Both scrapping away in different cars. Dylan has made an error. He's lost his front wing there, and this is probably where he crashed out in qualifying. So that's a big error there from Dylan, as he will have to come in the pits for a new front wing. As you can tell, he's frustrated, over revving the car. As right now, we'll go back on board with the battle for P4 right now. Jay has moved to 5th after the pit stop from Lewis Curtis now. As Sondre said, some brilliant race between Edward and Sterling, and I've got to agree with you on that. Some great racing. However, this is going to be more great racing between Jay versus Brandon Glover. As here comes Jay now. He's a lot faster on the harder compound of tyre, as Dylan's got a faster time penalty. Yep. Speeding in the pits. Oh, that's more trouble for him. As right now, here comes Jay. Will Jay go on the outside, or will he go on the inside? He's going on the outside. As Will close the door almost, and almost come together. Jay tries to get past, goes to the DRS mode 4. Bran has to give him space, let him know he's there. Great racing there from the Red Bull and the Mercedes driver. Yeah,
very close, and somehow Bran stays ahead, even though Jay's tyres are clearly better at this point. I mean, obviously hards eventually will get better than mediums, and it looks like they're better right now. So Jay might be getting a little frustrated that he's getting held up like this.
That is true, but the gap between him and the leader is actually only 7.9 seconds. So he's, I don't know a pit stop round here. I think it's like 24 to 22. I could be wrong there completely. So he needs to start closing on the gap if he wants to have a chance to get a podium position. As right now, sticking to Brandon isn't part of the plan. Although it's great for us to see because it's very close racing. As Lee Kelly slowly gaining now, 2.5 on those mediums with these two battling.
Yeah, it could end up having a three-way fight for P4, which would be nice to see.
Jay's actually backed up a little bit now. I think he's realising his fuel light has come on, so is he deliberately doing a tactic, what I did in last season in IRL F2, which I don't have to do anymore luckily, is where you run really low fuel, push the car as you can, and then near the end of the race when you're on a different compound tyre that's softer, for instance, instead of overheating your tyres you can just go lean and you'll still be quick, if you know what I mean, just to save your tyres.
Could be. Obviously he's in the sixth room right now, so this could be his chance. He goes to the outside, and it looks like he's a little bit more ahead. He was just about giving Bran room on the inside, and it's still side by side. And he gets him just about, and now he can push on to try and catch up to Diego.
Beautiful overtake there from Jay, showing Brandon how to get past the car. Brandon's not finished though. Brandon wants to try and get him back, and if that was not going to be a chance of notice, that would have been very aggressive, as Thomas has actually got a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits there. Now there's yellows. He has crashed and he is out, and he's manually retired the car. Hopefully this doesn't hinder any other driver.
It might,
because this could give him a penalty if it does. It is his AI, however. If he should have retired, what's that? I don't know if Can's. That's Can's AI. Yeah. Can's AI didn't see him. Now Can's just lost a bit of wing damage. He's lagged out again, so Can's having a bit of issues with his connection. Hopefully he can make it back. Sterling needs to realise this, as Can is no longer in the session. He's going for a very deep lunge. Lock up into the right, and there you go. Tom has also left the session, so Tom, Ferrari's hopes yet again are ending in shatters, as Edwards in 13th right now.
Gap at the front now, 4.5 seconds, so he's really pushed on, and he's got quite a healthy gap right now.
Yeah, as Matthew's getting comfortable on those mediums in the Renaults. This is where he's still not really pushing that much though with his ERS, but he's building a gap between him and now Diego, where he had a bit of controversy last week. As right now Jay's in third, so Jay's already in a podium position, so Jay will be having a huge smile to try and bring his championship hopes back alive.
I mean, he's a little bit far back right now, but I mean, obviously you're not out of the championship fight until you're out of the championship fight. So.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, mate, but Dylan has crashed out at turn 18 and 19 and has left the session. I don't know if he's going to rejoin. He could have retired his car, but he hasn't, unfortunately. So that's his AI, that's him out, it looks like, technically. With Matthew Alder now still in the lead, 4.7 seconds. No mistakes from the championship points leader, and this isn't good for Louis. So if Louis is into the stream today, you need to step a little bit more on your game, because right now Matthew Alder is going to take 25 points off you, which may be crucial near the end of the championship. Right now though, your teammate is in second with Diego. So Diego's had a very good form recently. Last week was unfortunate with the incident he had, but since I believe Harrison, I believe it was, who was Louis' teammate, since he had to drop out of Alpha, Diego's actually basically stepped up to the plate and basically doing his job for him, really. So Alpha's still going to be very strong in the constructors today. Seals in sector 2. Now, is that Cannon Edward? It is Cannon Edward, as I was about to go on him, but then the game. Where's this at? What's happened? So both Ferraris are out of the race. That isn't good for the Ferrari team, because now McLaren and Williams are going to catch up. Now, he crashed in sector 2. Is anyone in sector 2?
People like Lormans and Lewis are coming into it, I think. Lee.
I don't see any damage on the track. Well, no, it's a shame to see both Ferrari drivers are out of the race. However, Sterling and Caden have pitted, so Caden's going on the hard tyres. Sorry, Caden's actually, I don't know. Is Caden going on the hard tyres? No, he's on the mediums.
Oh, he's on the mediums.
So he's doing a two-stop. Caden's doing a two-stop strategy, medium hard, or medium soft possibly. As Sterling's going on to the end now on those hard tyres, and he's got kind of ahead of him now. I believe is back in, so he was battling with earlier, did pass him. Both pitted, and now Sterling will now try and attack Can and try and score some more points for the Williams team.
Yeah, right now it's looking okay. I mean, both Williams are obviously in the points, so Overall.
I wonder though where Caden's going to finish there, because right now he's out at the points and he's the last of the running cars currently right now since Dylan is no longer in the session. As Matthew order pits. Matthew is pitted.
Because, I mean, with being the lead car, I'd assume that he'd wait for other people to pit, and then he'd be still in front with better tyres. I mean, I would have thought that would be better, but he thinks otherwise, clearly. So.
Yeah, right now though, Matthew in 7th now, got in just out a little bit of traffic. He's got Curtis ahead of him. Now Curtis was leading this race at one point, so Curtis, it looks like it's jumped Matthew a little bit there, and I believe if Curtis was on a set of hard tyres, Curtis would be our new provisional leader. As it's yellows in sector 2. Now that is Lawmans. Lawmans is out. Oh, and there's controversy again. Dylan Day's AI. Oh, this is why when you leave a session you retire if you're not going to continue racing. Dylan Day's AI for some reason hasn't ghosted, because ghosting with the AI should be on, because they did that in the update, and that has just ruined Lawman's race, and Lawmans will not be happy with that. And if he does want to send us footage to report this, the admins will have a look at it. As right now though, the top 10 will score points.
Yeah, so Caden's gonna get a point. Actually, he's on for pretty good points. He's in a little battle for 8th right now, despite getting that wing damage early on, having to hit.
Yeah, you are correct there. As right now, Diego, net leader, 6.2 seconds gap between him and Jay. Now, don't count Jay for it this win today, because Jay could pull out a masterclass strategy. For some reason, Caden's actually weaving in the straight there, unless that was lag. But you never count out Jay, because Jay could pull over masterclass strategies. We've seen Curtis pull the undercut with the medium tyre, so...
Yeah, Diego's also, he's not pit, so he's going to have better tyres than Matthew. So in theory, he should be able to slowly take down that gap that he has to Matthew. So
I do agree.
He could be going for the win too.
Although there is a battle...
not out of it.
There is a battle up ahead. Lee Kelly versus Brandon Glover. However, there's a battle further down, a very close battle between Caden Can and Sterling. It's right now a gap has stayed as Caden's connection is getting a bit of an issue now, as somebody else crashed in sector 2.
Yeah, it was, he's not actually waving straight, because you remember last week as well he had lag issues.
Yep, that is correct. So here comes Sterling. Sterling wants that position, locks up, moving all over parts of the track there. I didn't get full visual of it. As now Caden's getting feisty as well. Caden's going around the outside. Sterling wasn't expecting this. I don't know if this is lag doing this, or he's just made his way through and made an amazing move.
Looked very opportunistic. I mean, he took the chance when he saw it, and now he's in P9.
Great driving there from Caden. He's now in P9 now though. It's only 2 points to his name, but if he does get the fastest lap, those 2 points could even happen at 10th. However though, hopefully Dylan Day's AI doesn't make any more errors, because I've never seen an AI take out a player. So as right now we're on board with Sterling. Sterling is in 10th. Caden 9th. Yellow's ahead. That is Cooper. Cooper is round, as Cooper done the same error as Dylan, and he's trying to get his car sorted out. Is there contact between him and...
Yeah, that looked pretty identical to how Dylan ended up with no wing there. Just the only difference is he hasn't retired yet, or left the session.
Yeah, is he going to manually retire in the pits? To wait and see, will he retire? Have a bigger close battle in front. Caden versus Can, both are mediums. 1 lap pressure for Caden, and Caden wants to get this move done since he's on the 2-stop strategy. And there we go, Caden has made the move successful and got ahead. His Cooper is on the soft tyres now. I don't understand what he's... saying
I
that?
think Caden tapped the wall there and
No wing damage on the
almost lost
car.
a bit of wing, but
Yeah, there's no damage, so I think he got let off there.
Maybe.
Oh no, back to the battle for third place. Brandon versus the youngster Lee Kelly. So as Lee Kelly finally lost the bad luck he's been having recently in the McLaren, and he's finally started to step up. As Brand pits, Lee pits.
Oh.
So will we see?
I think Bran
pit
tried
stop
to.
Excuse me for laughing there, Bran, but I have never seen that. Bran has just crashed into the pits entry there, and Lee just avoids it. So that battle has already been settled by the wall. He will be kicking himself after that.
Yeah, I think coming into the pit lane he was trying to duke Lee into staying out so he'd get an undercut, but obviously that didn't work, and I think that might have kind of made his entry a little bit different, and maybe he ended up in the wall partially because of that, but I mean, it's a bit of a silly mistake to be making.
I do agree there. Sorry, Bran, if you just joined the stream. that has made my day a little bit there. As Lee gets into P5 now, and will hold that P5 it looks like, and will be ahead of his team by 8.9 seconds. Now the gap between the leaders, Matthew, Alder and Jay, is 10.2. Now the win may be out the window now for Jay, since the hard strategy looks like it isn't really working. As Matthew actually did eventually get past Lewis Curtis for
you never
P3.
know, because Matthew did actually pit a little earlier than Diego did, so it might have been a bit of an earlier stop, so by the end of the race his tards could have gone off a little bit, and Jay on fresh mediums could show up.
Yeah, you are correct there. That could anything could happen. A safety car possibly could happen, as Cooper Fitz finally pits. Wasn't going for the fastest lap. I think his team actually made an error there as he does pit. As the fast lap is actually for Lewis Curtis, 139.2, and Harry Cooper's fast lap is 142.6. He's going to a new set of soft tyres now. I don't know what he's trying to do here. I think he's just trying to get out of everybody's way. Could be wrong. As gap between Matthew and Jay closed now 9.5.
No, I think he's going for fastest lap. He's on the softs. So.
As my TV's just decided it's going to shut down in like 40 seconds. As Jay now gap slowly getting caught up from Matthew, 9.2 now, as there's a battle further down the track. There's Can pits. Now I don't know if this is his second stop. I think this is his second stop.
Yes, it is.
As at this point to get there.
Yeah, that will be stop number 2.
Yep, stop number 2 it is. And going on for the hard tyres, so maybe he didn't think the mediums were going to make it to the end. We were thinking he was on a 2-stop strategy, but still, and he had wing damage. Matthew Alder pushing the track limits as much as he can. 3 seconds time penalty to his time. But pushing, Matthew is. Could we see a surprise second place from Lewis Curtis though? I don't think those mediums can go to the end. Because he did pit on lap 2, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they'd go anywhere near to the end. He pit lap 4, by the way.
Oh, lap 4 was it?
Yeah. I wouldn't say he'd go to the end on them at all, but like, he is there, so he could be on for probably like a P5 or 4. I'd say P4 would be the maximum, but like, it's a bit of a bad strategy. I mean, starting on the softs, like, you were never really going to make a good strategy work starting on those tires. They're really bad tires.
Yeah, you are correct there. It's a silly strategy from Lewis there. Have it at the moment. He's been doing some great performances on those medium tyres. If he was on the hards, he would have been ahead of Matthew and could have gone to the end. Hards can go very long, however when they go very long they start to grain and the tyres start failing and everything. As my do apologies for a minute, my phone has just decided to switch off. So if any of you just commented, it just shut off me, so I won't be able to read any comments. for a bit. Right now though, I've got to say though, Kevin, do you think Matthew is going to have a dominant win like Louis did, where he was a bit cocky and did an extra pit stop?
Not that dominant, but I mean, I wouldn't even say that it's like 100% that he'd even win this race yet. I mean, he looks like the best contender for it, but I wouldn't even say that he's fully won this race yet. So.
Just saw Lewis made a little error on the exit of the final corner, as there's not really any battle. This is where the boring part comes at Singapore, when there's gaps, there's big gaps after pit stops, and there's not really any battling. As Harry Cooper does set the fastest lap, 1:39 flat. So Cooper has stalled the fastest lap from Lewis Curtis, so at the moment Cooper will be getting the extra point, so he will have 3 points added to his driver standings in the F1 reserve. He's a full F2 driver, so he wants to see how F1 is handling, and possibly, you never know, we could see Flying Cooper next season in the F1 tier and scoring a few more points.
Yeah, never know. I mean, he's kind of out of really getting anything better than ninth. Beforehand, he was looking pretty okay, so. Before he had his wing damage.
You are correct there, and this is where Matthew now is eating into Jay's time, 7.2 seconds now. Jay's took those tyres 14 laps. Now I think he's probably going to pit on lap 20, because the mediums, Matthew only took those mediums 10 laps, I believe. Now,
yeah, that's correct. And,
if that's the max they can do with decent pace. Yeah, so if it's in a delta between 10 to 13, if that's the max Matthew can do on those tyres, Jay's got to then think. He will be less on fuel, but Jay's going to have to start thinking when to pit. Now, he could pit lap 19 to lap 22, and he can make the mediums to the end, but it'll be a push.
Yeah,
now,
I'd say if he pit lap 18 or 19, it should be alright, especially with the less fuels.
But will he stay out longer and try and go for the fastest lap, lose a bit of track position, but possibly make that track position near the end? Because right now the gap between him and 5th place man is 31.4 seconds. The gap between him and Diego is 18.7. So right now, if he did stay out for longer, he's probably only going to lose a couple of seconds. Could go for the soft tyres, be a lot faster than Diego on the hard compound, catch him up within a few laps, and take that extra point and 4th place.
Could well happen. I mean, I'm actually liking this, because my top 3 prediction, looking at it, like when it all filters out, would be correct. So.
Yeah, your top 3 prediction is working out. You are correct. As right now, Lewis is dropping off a lot now off Matthew. 4.9 seconds as we speak, as there is a battle forming for P6 right now. Sterling and Caden. So finally, we're going to have some track action. This is where Caden has now realised the 2-stop strategy has completely failed on him and backfired. Sterling was ahead of him when he pitted. He got past. Sterling's now caught up within a few laps on the harder compound of tyre. As right now Sterling is closing up.
Yeah, this looks like our closest battle as well, so.
Yeah, it is. As right now Sterling has lost a little bit of time on the hards now, and almost 1.1 has gained it back though in the cornering. Though as Caden is significantly lagging, that may be addressed in the shoots if it gets reported. Of course, we can't, if it is bad as it is, as it looks like Caden's having. Is Caden having throttle? Is he Caden having that throttle glitch? Yes, he is. For some reason, he's having that throttle glitch.
Oh, with the revs?
Yeah, it's over revving him apparently. Well, as I can hear anyway.
For me, it's fine. So it's just like. It's not like for him.
Thank you, Cody's. Still can't fix one slight bug. As right now, though, Sterling is caught up into DRS range. As Kurz has lagged out of the session, hopefully he can make it back. This could cost him a position or two. Now, Sterling closing and closing and closing on Caden. Not close enough to make an attempt of a move. As right now though, Sterling is within DRS, waiting and being patient. This is where Sterling is making optimum saving on ERS. Because right now I believe he's in 0, yes he is. He is on 0 ERS. This is where you can save a lot, stay behind him, get in the DRS zone and overtake. And this, it's the only downside to this track. There's actually meant to be a DRS point right here where these two are, but unfortunately Codemasters haven't put it in, so there'll be not really that much gained on the overtaking down here, and it's a shame really, because there'd be a lot more overtaking happening at Singapore. As right now, wow, I've just noticed this. Gap to the lead has closed a lot. 3.6.
Yeah, actually, that's...
Jay made an error. Let's have a look. Has Jay made an error?
I don't think so. I think Matthew's just closing on him.
No, yes, but Jay's pulling away from Diego. Now, has Jay got some pace on those hards and not losing time? Oh, hang on a minute. Sterling's had enough now. He wants to go ahead of Caden. Go into the inside, into turn 1, gets the job done. Caden don't really fight for the position since he's on a different pit stop strategy. And there's the overtake done and dusted, but will Caden come back? He has got DRS. Sterling's defending on the inside, it looks like. As Caden is closing, but not enough. Will he go for a lunge? No, he doesn't. As gap for the lead is closing, 3.3 now. As this battle is the close battle we do have on track, but we will go on board with the battle between Matthew and Jay if Jay stays out for another few laps. Caden gets another 3 second time penalty. I don't understand why he cut the corner, but apparently he just got a 3 second time penalty.
I watched it. He did definitely.
Oh, he did. It might be my camera angle then. As right now, Jay pits. Jay is in the pits. Now, where will Jay come out? Will he be ahead of Diego? Goes on a medium compound of tyre. So we were right in our prediction, around about lap in at 18 to lap 22.
Lewis is also in this lap too.
Lewis, that's his AI. That isn't him.
Oh.
I don't think that's him. As Diego does get ahead, but how big will the gap be when Jay comes out? As Lee looks like for a surprise 4th position right now. So could we see the youngster catch up with Jay if Jay makes an error? As Lewis Kurtz has made it back to the session, so Lewis will not be happy possibly that he's pitted and is going on a new set of mediums. He won't be happy with that. As right now, Jay in 3rd, gap between him and Diego 5.3. This is where Jay can close a little bit now. Those hards are still going to be okay, but Jay's got a few laps to now floor it and basically go hammer time and start to catch up on Diego within a few seconds. He's already catching as Diego made an error. 4.5 now. 4.4.
Yeah, it could just be the difference in the turns.
4.1. Jay is eating into Diego's tyre around about a few tenths per corner. So Jay is pushing to try and catch his position. He won't catch up with Matthew because look at the gap between Diego and Matthew, 17.8 seconds. So Matthew is in a dominant race right now. No one challenging him or anything, but it could easily end up into the wall, as a fellow friend and a fellow F2 driver did also in that Renault car last season. Made a 2-stop and made an error in the chicane. Could we see that from Matthew Alder? We hope not, but it would make it more interesting to see who would win at Singapore. Would it be Diego? Would it be Jay? Would it be even Lee Kelly? 7 seconds off Jay right now, but losing time.
Yeah, I mean the fight for P2, if Diego can keep Jay behind, which it doesn't really look like he's going to be able to, but if he did, Lee could even catch up. I mean he's a little bit behind, but not too much, and if he's held up for a few laps, he could get brought into it, at least on penalties, and could see a good fight for P2.
There's a battle for P2. He's not up low. 1 whole second. Caden pits, so Caden's finally made his 2nd stop. Now he can't go on the medium tyre. He started on the mediums. He has to either go hard or soft. Softs will not make it to the end. Hards will. As I've just noticed this, Cooper's actually managed to make those soft tyres last 7 laps. As no, Caden's risking it. He's going soft tyres. Wow, that's going to be very aggressive if they can make it to the end. As right now though, Jay is all over Diego, trying to go on the outside into the hairpin corner.
Yeah, and that might have put Diego off a little bit, and this will give him a proper opportunity into this corner. He goes for a lunge, and that's it, up into P2.
Great move in there from Jay. As Cameron's saying that you can make them actually last 11 laps. You possibly can, but it's overheating problems that some people face, as Lewis couldn't manage to make them 11 laps.
You can really see the difference between Jay's mediums and Diego Sorhag's already out of DRS range for Diego.
Yep, you are correct. So Jay's mediums have worked, and he will get second place.
I can't believe that. That's like too quick.
Yeah, where's his pace been from Jay all season? Like, Jay's been doing well at some races and then made some little errors, but right now Jay is looking a little bit faster than Matthew Alder right now at this track. Didn't get the best qualifying, started at 10th and is currently second, and right now he's definitely in the vault for my driver today, with possibly Lee Kelly in P4 right now, 8 seconds off Diego, and he's catching up with Diego as well, 7.9. So maybe that may be a battle later in the race. They're both on the same tyre life.
Yeah,
no, they're not.
True.
No, oh yeah, they are. Sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. As Lewis Curtis in 5th on the medium tyres. Also, it looks like gaining on Lee a little bit. So you were right with Lewis Curtis's prediction where he would be. As we'll go on board with Caden, since he'll be on a qualifying lap basically. Let's see what he's going to do. I don't think this is his qualifying lap now, is it? No, as we'll go on board with him. It's got Dylan Day's AI in the way, so that driver needs to get out of the way. As just going to quickly check something. So if you want to commentate over Caden's like race lap, fast lap thing.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much already gone because Chaos's AI just, or Dylan's AI just got in the way, so
that's basically ended then.
A little bit angry with that.
So that's unfortunate there for Dylan. As Jay actually sets a new fast lap, 138.1. Jay is flying. Now, Caden now will pit. Caden possibly will pit for a set of soft tyres.
Yeah, he's really eating into this gap quite quickly. I mean, I swear, like 2 laps ago, like a lap or 2 ago, it was 18 seconds. So he's taken like 2 seconds out of him since he passed Diego, which is quite a good rate at catching him. So
you're all correct there. Now, I've just been sent a little bit of a POV of the replay at the start. The reason why Sterling spun, he touched Diego's rear tyre, spun him. Bran got hit into Sterling, spun him around. Sterling luckily didn't get any damage, and I think Bran actually got a little bit of damage with that. But that's what happened at the start. Matthew Alder gets another time penalty. Now 6 seconds to his time. Caden is really struggling and won't be happy that he's got wing damage. He ain't going to lose a place though, because Cooper is 1 whole minute behind, apparently. 9 laps on those soft tyres. So will he pit for another soft strategy? He's basically in 0 ERS, and I probably know why, just trying to save the tyres, save the cooling, and just try and make him to the end. Caden does pit. Will he go for another set of soft tyres since there's no battling right now? But look how much time Jay's eaten into Matthew Alder's time.
Yep, 15 seconds now, so he could be challenging him, but if not on the road, he's certainly going to challenge.
I don't think
in terms of penalties.
Yeah, like we know Matthew's got 6 seconds. I know Jay hasn't got any, but if Jay I can't speak. If Jay catches up within 6 seconds, Matthew's win is in threat.
Almost 14 seconds, 14 and a half.
Well, yeah, but since Matthew's got 6 seconds penalty, Jay only needs to catch 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Yeah, 8 seconds. My brain went dead then. So we will go on board with Caden very shortly, as there is Diego. So Caden's actually been lapped. That's how much Dylan has actually affected his lap right now. I'm just going to check something quick. As I'm just checking a few things. something's just gone wrong actually. What the hell's happened? As welcome Bran to the stream. As you did bottle it earlier, unfortunately. Still made my day. That'll be the highlight of the day, and possibly may come into a highlight reel if we do a season review. As right now though, Diego 12.3.
I'll make sure that's in.
12.5 now to Jay. So Jay has just pulled a masterclass with 4 laps, build up a gap between him and Diego, 12.7 seconds. The gap between him, Matthew, and Jay, 13.6. And getting close. Now, eventually these medium tyres are going to start working, where they start getting a little bit of effect, because remember, Matthew only managed to make them last 11. Now, it's less fuel in Jay's car, I admit, but that'll probably only save you an extra 2 laps, possibly. Right.
Well, I mean,
now,
if he keeps catching like he is right now, he's certainly going to be in.
Yeah, you are right there.
Close to it very soon. So.
Oh, the gap between Diego and Lee's closed up, 5.3, but the gap to Lee and Lewis Curtis, 1.7. So Curtis is coming back strong.
Yeah, obviously he's got those fresh mediums, although looking at it, Lee's tyres are fresher than Matthew's.
Oh, Sterling's crashed!
Compared to each.
Sorry to cut you off there, Kevin, but Sterling has crashed into turn 2, or turn 3 it looked like, and has lost a big chunk of his front wing. Now, will he pit and go on the soft tyres and possibly try and stop Caden getting his fast start? Because Caden is on his fast start right now. As we'll go on board him, he's currently 6/10. Well, I'm wrong there. 2.2 seconds up on his time. And what's his PB right now? His PB is a 140.6. Now that'll be a 138.4 right now. So he is going to take the fastest lap from Cooper there, and for some reason his car just jumped.
I just did a little bit of maths. In the last 5 laps, Jay's caught about 6 seconds. So if he does that again, he should be about 6 or 7 seconds behind Matthew by the end. So,
oh, Caden actually did do the fast lap. What fast lap did he? I thought I was looking at Caden, but I was actually looking at Lee. A 137.6 there he's done. So I was even wrong. Oh, that's Lewis has already got ahead of Lee. Now will Lee come with a fighting move back? He's got the DRS straight. As Curtis gone a bit too early making that overtake, because eventually his tyres will fall off and Lee will start pounding him back. Currently the gap between him and Diego, 4.1, so we could see Lewis and Lee Kelly battling for the 3rd and final position. Lee looks like he's got a bit of wing damage. Yes, he has. Lee's actually lost a bit of his end plate there, so that's why Lee was not really catching up with Diego. Now has Diego got wing damage? No, Diego's got no wing damage at the moment. Sterling does pit. Now will he go on the soft tyres? As the gap between Diego and Curtis is 3.4 now. Curtis is closing. Sterling does go for the soft tyres as we predicted. Gap between Lee and Diego though, 4.1 roughly.
yeah, it'll be just about right. I'm not really, like, it looks like Lewis is going to catch Diego, but I'm not sure if he's going to get to pass him. I'm not sure how penalties it's going to affect it, but laps are kind of running out, I think, and obviously Diego's tires aren't too bad, only 13 laps of wear, so I feel like he'll be able to hold him off even if Lewis does get up on him, and then that'll let Lee come back into it, so we could see a fight for P3 at the end.
You're right there. Jay's gap between Matthew and him is 11.2, and it's now stabilised a little bit. Now if Matthew gets another penalty, Jay only has to catch up 2 seconds roundabout, and basically he will win this race, but that's only if Matthew gets another penalty, because right now there's no way he can win this unless he gains 5 extra seconds, or 6 roughly, to have a chance to win this race for penalties. Now Lewis Curtis on the other hand, as you said, may not be able to beat Diego in the race near the end. Has Dylan caused an incident with somebody else? No, someone else has crashed. I don't know who. Someone has crashed.
That's Cooper.
Cooper needs to, Cooper's got a puncture. That's why. So there you are. The Cameron was right. Those tyres do last long, but 12 laps, and you're going to be slow on them. So soft tyres ain't the best strategy. He tried his best to try and make it to the end. Completely failed. Gap between Jay and Matthew now 10.7. Cooper gets another 5 second speed in the pit lane. But the gap between Diego and Lewis Curtis, 0.3 of a second right now. I think Diego ain't going to get third, mate. I legit think Lewis is actually going to jump him.
Yeah, it looks like it now. But if he does get held up for a little bit longer, Lee will get brought back into this.
Gap between Matthew and Jade though, 10.4.
Yeah, he's quite clearly quicker, and he's quite clearly going to get past. Yeah, there he goes into third. Pretty much.
Diego is defending though. Lee didn't really defend that much. Diego loses the position. Lewis takes third and prevails for the Williams team. Will the Williams team get other driver get another third place? Their highest position this season they've done, the Williams team, was with Sterling, I believe, at Japan, I think it was. Or
yeah,
it was either
there.
Japan, I think. Yeah, might be Japan actually. And got P3. So right now.
Wait, no, it wasn't Japan.
Oh, what was round 11?
It was the one before that.
Let's have a look. What was round 11?
Australia, that was it.
Yes, Australia, you're right. He got third in Australia. And right now, curious after that, round 13 now, Lewis Curtis looks like he's going to get third and building up a gap already, 5/10 ahead of Diego. Jay, Matthew, 10.3. So the gap isn't really closing that much. So Matthew's trying to stabilise this gap in case he gets another penalty. And Matthew will not be pushing the car as much as he can to try and stop getting a penalty. Because if he gets a penalty, he's only going to get 18 points. Gap between him and Jay now 10.1. So Jay is closing, but these tyres aren't going to close enough. Lee gets a penalty though, 3 seconds added to his time, which isn't good for Lee Kelly. However though, he will be happy with 5th right now, since it's basically safe for him to get it, as Can's gap between him is 48.4 seconds.
It looks like Jay is trying to save fuel because he's shifting up quite early. I'm actually using quite higher gears as well. So.
Yeah, that is correct. And maybe this is why he stopped pushing, because he's also in 0 ERS.
Maybe he's saving.
But the thing
is,
his fuel warning light isn't on, so I think he's just trying to save the tyres for one final push. Now the gap between him and Matthew is 9.9. Jay needs to catch 3 seconds, right? And we're on lap 28 out of lap 31 laps. So 3 laps roughly. Is only the way he can do it. He needs to stop pushing now, really, to have a chance to catch 3 seconds. Those tyres won't be able to do it that much because the hard tyres right now have done 19 laps. The mediums on the other hand have done 9. They're meant to roughly around about last 9 to 14. But Matthew only managed to make them last 10. Well, I know Matthew has 6. Jay, I don't think has any. That's the only penalties I will tell you because we've seen him on the thing. But I'm not going to go on Race Director since I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And show you the thing. Sterling pits again for a new fresh set of softs. Now, did he get the fastest lap? No, Caden, 37.6. Sterling's fastest lap was a 38.3. Sorry, 38 flat. Biggest gap. Matthew has lapped Cooper 2 laps, has lapped Sterling and Caden 1 lap.
Gap now down to 9.3. So the laps are running out. It's looking a little unlikely. I mean, obviously, Matthew could get a surprise penalty, but he's almost in range of him if Matthew were to get 3, but not in range for 2. So.
Because right now, though, Matthew going to start the penultimate lap of this race. Hasn't made any mistakes at all.
Neither has Jay, to be fair.
Gotta agree with you on that.
From like 9th.
And that's why Jay, in my
Now
opinion,
in
is going to get driver of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same for me.
.2 though, the gap is now, as you said, 9.3. So Jay is now losing a bit of time, but he's gaining it back on the exits.
Lewis has a few penalties. Negwer get back in 3rd and in my top 3 would be right again, but right now it's not.
Yeah, I've just noticed now though, as Matthew is on the penultimate lap, about to come on the final lap, gap between him and Jay has gone up to 9.5. So even if Matthew did get a penalty now, Jay would have to find 5/10. And right now he wouldn't get it. The gap is getting close, so those mediums are starting to fail. As Matthew Alder is on his final lap. Gap between him and Jay, 10.3. This is what Matthew has been wanting for so long. Finally, Louis missed a race, and finally the winning streak from Louis looks like to be over. As the fast lap won't be, I don't think it's been taken, has it? Oh, yes it has. Sterling's in a 137.3. That's why Caden's pitted, but it's too late. Caden, your fastest lap point has gone. Sterling's going to get the extra point, and it looks like Williams are going to get P3 and P7. 7.1 seconds the gap now between his Curtis and Diego.
Yeah, I just checked there. Matthew's gone 8 races without a win. Last race he won was round 4 at Canada.
As Matthew Alder comes around the final 2 corners to win Singapore round 13 to get his championship back on track. Wins at Singapore with 23 laps on those hard tyres. Jay has almost hit the wall there. He's coming up to the final 2 corners and all from a decent result. P2 from 10th. Great result from Jay. Will Lewis Curtis, however, take P3?
Yeah,
gap between him and Diego is 7.5.
Like by the way, it looked like Jay had 6 seconds penalties like Matthew.
Oh yeah, you are correct there.
Like
gap between him and 1.5. Ah, so I was wrong. I thought Jay didn't have any penalties. However, Lewis takes 3rd place there. Great result there from Lewis to get 3rd. Now, is it safe from 3rd? Yes, 2.5 seconds. So Lewis took the risk and did it. The 2-stop strategy worked in the end. Lee Kelly is going to take P5 because he's not under any threat from Can, since Can's already made it across the finish line.
Fastest lap as well.
So will the youngster get the fastest lap? Let's see what Lee can do. Will he steal it? I don't know if he did. I think Sterling kept it. Great driving there from Matthew Alder to win at Singapore. Great driving also from Jay, who's going to get the drive of the day, in my opinion, for my vote. But there you go, top 7 on the podium, Matthew.
Yeah, I think you can't really argue with Jay being driver of the day. I don't think anyone else deserves it really as much as he does.
Well, there we have it. As then Jay has been announced as driver of the day. Matthew wins though at Singapore, and a win for him will be excellent news for the Renault team to finally get their streak back to normal. As Matthew, I said, master of the streets. So Matthew is really happy with his win. It's a good result for him. He's done very well and had a great result at the start and just pulled the gap and did patient there. So very good driving there from Matthew. Great driving from Jay. As the top 10, only 8 cars finished though, however I think on out of 10. As Matthew Alder wins, first doesn't take the fast start unfortunately. Jay is in 2nd place, Lewis Curtis in 3rd, Diego 4th, Lee Kelly in 5th place. A great result from 8th. Can in 6th, great result from him from 10th to 6th with a 2-stop strategy. Sterling in 7th, great recovery drive after what happened at the start. Caden in 8th, Dylan Day, who will not be classified since this is AI, but Cooper will be promoted to 9th I believe, so that'll be 2 points added to his time. Brandon, Lormans, Edward and Thomas all DNF'd. Well then, I'm going to get ready to interview Matthew Alder and Lewis Curtis. Since I know Jay doesn't have a mic, so I know Jay will be happy with that. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a mic because I'd have loved to interview them today. But I might get the youngster Lee Kelly in, possibly. As right now, I'm going to invite the accounts. As Matt, could you suggest what's his name, Lewis Curtis for me, because I don't think I have him on this account. It's a great result there from the championship point leader to win at Singapore. As while we wait for the first and third place drivers to join for an interview, and then hopefully if Lee wants to join or somebody else wants to join, do let us know in the live chat and we'll send you an invite your way. Lee Kelly has joined, so we will invite him, interview him in a minute. Just give me a few seconds. Lewis Curtis has made it as well. Okay, and Lewis, we might as well wait for Matthew, but we will go on board with you and interview you first, since you were on the podium, of course. Great qualifying position, pole position of course, with the softer tyre, only a few tenths ahead of Matthew Alder of course. But you've managed to make a 2-stop strategy work and get 3rd place. How did your race go?
It went pretty well, apart from the first stint where I lost a lot of time due to a tyre that wasn't working very good. I then pitted, made a lot of time up on those medium compound tyres. Worked my way up through the field, on for a P4, P3, disconnected, no backup invite, you know, just sticking it out there.
Yeah.
And then worked my way back up to 3rd place after I think Diego had a lot of wing damage or something. I was catching him pretty quick, and same with Leo. And yeah, I got P3.
Well, yeah, it was a good strong result between you and Jay with that strategy. Jay did the 1-stop course with hard to medium, and you basically did soft, medium, medium, which worked very well. The main tyre was better near the end of the race, and yeah, you did close up on Diego. Diego didn't have actually wing damage. I think it was just the hard tyres just didn't have pace around this track, as we did see you got past Lee quite easily, of course, but he had a bit of wing damage. But no, great result for Williams, since your teammate got third at Australia and you get third at Singapore, do you think now, with you and Sterling scoring some more points, do you think you could get Williams out of last place in the Constructors?
Hopefully. I'm not going to say anything because I'll probably crash out in the next few races.
Alright, you don't want to jinx. Well then, mate, I'm going to ask you one final question, unless, Kevin, you've got any questions to ask him?
Or unless you're about to ask him about the next race, then
you can do that if you want. That's your call. Okay. You can do that.
The next race is China after the break, the Christmas break. Obviously, it's a while away. But how do you think you were gonna do around there?
Not very well.
Just not very well?
Yep.
Not great pace?
No.
Okay.
Well then, thank you there, Lewis, joining us in the interviews, and great result for third place in the Williams, and just great racing all together.
Take Matthew then?
Yeah, you can interview Matthew if you want.
Do we have you, Matthew?
Yes.
First win in the last 8 races, how does it feel?
Good. I mean, probably the highest track in Canada. Longest as well, 31 laps. So, yeah, happy. Good.
Yeah, you were fastest out of everyone on the mediums. Did you ever think that you weren't going to win, or did you think that you could be challenged, or did you expect a victory this kind of like dominant as it was?
Well, when I got my second penalty, I thought Jay might get me because he was catching really fast at the start of the mediums. But they eventually wear it off, and I think I gained on him the last 2 laps. So it wasn't that bad as soon as the gap started coming out around 11 seconds.
So you had it in general under control then?
Yeah, I'd say so. Penalties, it's the only thing I've seen being out of control.
Yeah, so looking at the championship as well, obviously you've got 25 points over Lewis, who was just constantly winning races recently, so must feel good to get a few points over him as well.
Yeah, well, came here to win, just to extend the gap to Lewis and his works.
So. Yeah, the next race is China. How do you think you're gonna do around there?
Probably in P2. It depends on if they get me punches as Lewis does, because I'm just going to literally be following him around. Because I've done that before and I know it's probably going to happen again.
Fair enough. Congratulations on your win, and good luck for China after the break.
Well then, thank you for the interview, Matthew, and good luck at China. Now we have the youngster, Lee Kelly. Are you here, Lee?
I am here, yeah. Let me just make sure my voice on stream. Yeah, it is. So.
Good man. Well, great result. I think you got 5th, I believe, or 4th. Oh no, it was 5th. Yeah, it was 5th. Great result there from you, as you've had an alright season. You've had a few crashes and a few missed out point results, and it did look like McLaren and the constructors were going to be at last at one point against Williams, but you and Caden got some decent points today, and unfortunately what happened to Caden was a bit of wing damage from Dylan's AI, but a great result from you for 5th, bringing back your form. You think your form can come back at China or anything like that? Any other tracks?
I'm not even sure what tracks are left, to be honest. But, if I can think of a few. Well, you still have You still have you still have those in Russia, and you have Belgium left.
Yep.
So I think I can get some decent points. Maybe a podium, but you know that's if the likes of Louis Matthew and all that turn up. So, which is highly unlikely. So.
Well, that's very Very confident boost for you for the next, well, for those races. But one question I know one fellow driver isn't wanting me to ask, and he knows his name, Brandon Glover, of course, with the pit lane mishap.
Oh,
I bet you had a huge smile when he made that little error, crashed in the pits, and you were catching up, so there possibly was a battle going to form in the race. Did you have any? Did you see what he did to make that mistake, or was that just driver error? Or
I don't know. I think he just went too. I think. Well, I asked him. I think he just went too fast and then went straight into the wall. I mean, it scared me. I mean, I had to react quick because if I didn't, I was gonna kill. I was gonna die and get myself ring damage. So I didn't. Well, obviously, I did have a little smile on my face. So.
Well,
I mean, it was a shame because we were on for a good battle that race.
Yeah, it was forming up. Alder, mate, I'm going to ask you the last quick question, as we have got a break after this race with a Christmas Classic event coming up, of course. But China, when we do come back after Christmas, I believe, in January, China, where do you think you're going to be compared to everybody else?
First of all, if anyone who's watching your hours stream, early Merry Christmas. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I think my play to China is decent, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't know where I'll be. Hopefully up where I am today.
Well then, if you're for a good result at China, hopefully you do well at China, of course. Hopefully everybody else does well at China, and hopefully you have a good Christmas break, of course. And if you do want more information for the Christmas Classic event, it is on the 28th of December. If you want to be a part of it, message me, Kevin, Sondre, even Matthew Alder, and Paco.
I messaged Sondre basically the minute the message came out.
Well, that's good to hear. Well then, I've been your commentator, Jared Fosbury, or it's IRL Neon, joined with Kevin.
Yep.
It's been great race today, and a drive day for me and Kevin has gone to Jay, of course. Join us next time at China, which will be on January, I believe. But join us for more IRL content tomorrow at 4:30 UK time for F2 and F3 from the commentators Lance and Sondre and Brandon. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.